So video introduction, more usual than not, guys, video introduction is something that people require because not only recruiters, not only agencies, but even clients, because it's the new creative type of resume nowadays. It actually allows the employer, the recruiter, the client, whatever you call it, to get that first impression of you. So let me share to you about, like how it's similar to how we're doing it before during the times that we were going to office-based jobs. When we first entered the building, or even before we entered the building, we put on our lipstick, we put on our heels, I put on a nice blouse, guys would put on a nice slack and a nice polo. They go enter the building and then they go ahead and greet the receptionist with a smile on their face. They introduce themselves and they say, "Hi, my name is May. I'm here for the interview for this role. Good afternoon, blah, blah, blah. Where do I sit?" So you're making that great impression that you're really enthusiastic, that you are really interested about the job because you're dressed up for it. You're dressed up appropriately. And this is what I'm going to say. Consider your video introduction the same way. Consider your video introduction or treat your video introduction as if it's your first handshake with anybody in the company. All right. So put the smile on your face and have that positive attitude. Okay. I've spoken to a lot of CEOs, clients, and all that in the 3 years that I'm in recruitment at Alex. And they use video introduction for several reasons. It shows them the creative or the character side of the person, the overall personality of the person. It's an element that is mandatory and necessary because clients would want to have a virtual assistant online, but and they want to look forward to a day training you because they will train you for the next 60 days. They will teach you everything that they need to teach you. All right. So that you can go ahead and be good at what you're doing because they're going to be delegating some tasks. Okay, they would want to connect with you. They will go ahead once they make a wrong move and hire the wrong person, then it's a waste of time for the CEO, isn't it? So they want to have this video introduction as a way for them to assess your personality and your character. Clients, employers, recruiters always want to have that video introduction and they request for it. If you don't send them one, then they will request for it for that reason. Another reason that they want is this is the way for them to assess your communication skills and confidence. They're assessing this because it your video introduction already presents your speaking abilities. And as I mentioned during the first webinar, communication skills is imperative in any job, especially if you're a virtual assistant. You are 1,000 miles away from your client, and you have that barrier. You're just online on a Zoom, box, and you're not seeing each other face to face. And the least that they could expect is for you to communicate clearly about expectations, about what you're missing on, your challenges, and all that, so that the results will be continuous. Okay, so that you can go ahead and be passionate with what you're doing. With if you're misleading or miscommunicating with your CEO, um, then what are going to be the results? Are you going to be productive that way? I don't think so. Okay. So communication skills is very important if you're conveying an information. There's going to be a lot of rework, a lot of back and forth. Even if I told during my first webinar, even if you're the very best person for graphic design, for SEO, for what else, for WordPress, you're not going to be able to make it there. Okay, if you lack communication skills. How about your technical abilities? Okay, your technical abilities, if you submit a video that's dark and your video doesn't even have the right volume, the volume is too low, there's a lot of background noise, dogs barking, chickens, chickens being heard in the background on your video introduction, and you didn't double check your video, or maybe you attached the wrong attachment on your application, that already confirms that you are not at all good in technology. All right, which can also may also mean that you cannot follow instructions if you don't check your audio video settings, if you're submitting a bad selfie video when you are already told not to submit a selfie video, or you're submitting an animated type of video when you're already told not to submit one, then you're not good in following instructions. So you can be almost confident that you're a tech savvy person if you submit a quality video introduction. And we talked about enthusiasm earlier. Enthusiasm in a video, again, you should be oozing with that. Because as a recruiter, actually, my job and all the jobs of recruiters out there is to recognize whether someone is fit for the role. And what else? Not only fit, but the showing a positive attitude towards the prospect of filling that role. So if you're not showing enough enthusiasm, if you're just there trying your luck, if you're so shy, you're not even smiling, you have a low energy, the video will stop right there in just 3, 5 seconds. All right. Another one, your work environment. Make sure that your work environment is clean and distraction free. A background that can produce results, that can be productive. You don't have to have a grand background, guys. You just need a plain white, solid color wall, perhaps, so that the client can look at your video and just focus on what you're saying instead of you recording a video introduction in a messy background. Okay. So rehearse before you record. Play it yourself. See to it that there's no cockroach crawling on your wall. I've seen video introduction where there's a cockroach crawling on the wall. And you don't want that in a video introduction, isn't it? Because the clients are normally from the first world countries, they're Westerners. They would require that you are neat, that you're organized because they are like that. Okay. So always keep everything that you submit as one. And I keep on telling that as one. You're organized, you're neat, and you are efficient.